getting set up tonight, I would like to make an introduction. We have with us Mike tonight from Williamston Mount Hope Church. And he is here to speak the invocation on behalf of the church. Mike?
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day and giving us the freedom to come together tonight. Thank you for protecting us and providing for all of our needs and the many blessings that you have in our lives. I thank you for tonight for our health, our personal callings, and our relationships. I pray for the mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular this assembled council. I'm asking that you would graciously grant them with wisdom to govern amidst the conflicting interests and issues in our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of the people in our communities, and a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, and confidence in what is good and fitting. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and the honor of our responsibilities that were appointed to us, the ability to work together in harmony, even when there's honest disagreement. Personal peace in the lives of everyone here, and the joy in the tasks that they put forth. I pray for the agenda that is set before them tonight. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around this great city. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Michael, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay and you're welcome to leave at any time you wish.
All right. Thanks for this.
Thank you. Let's see. We're still a couple minutes before 7, so I will hold off and gavel us into session.
All right. How do I get rid of the ringer? Man, turn this thing off. I don't figure this out.
Can you have your volume up when he's on? Please? So I can see him on mine, but the echo and
Right, and in order to avoid the echo, I've got this and I put it in my ear, and that keeps the echo from happening. If I could turn this off, but we may get feedback if I do that.
I got this in my ear, but it's more like carrying it, you can't hear it.
Huh?
Huh? What?
Can you hold the phone up to
You
your
got mine. I
ear
sure
and
had it in here.
maybe hear them that way?
Yeah, I got it. I'm rolling while I can hear it.
Okay. I don't mind sharing, Chris, as long as I don't get feedback.
You know what? I might have taken it out because I knew I was coming here tonight.
All right. Time is now 7 p.m. and I will call to order this regular meeting of the Perry City Council for October 1st, 2020. Would everyone please rise? Would you join me in saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone may be seated. Devin, would you please call the roll?
Genevieve Petrell.
Here. Thank you.
Craig Elliott. Mindy Galvin. Here. Adam Graff. Christopher Powell.
Here.
Terry Wood.
Here.
Mayor James Huglet.
Here.
All is accounted for except council member Craig Elliott and Adam Graff.
I find that a quorum is present to conduct business. We will now move to the next item, which is approval of the agenda. The clerk and I have prepared the agenda to the best of our knowledge. It has all items that need to come before you for your attention tonight, and I submit it to the council for your approval or your amendment.
I move that the
agenda be adopted as printed.
Second.
Moved by Cottrell, seconded by Powell, that the agenda be adopted as printed. Is there discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That will move us to reading and approval of the minutes. Devin, would you please read the minutes of the September 17th regular city council meeting?
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from the September 17th, 2020 regular meeting.
Second.
Moved by Galvin, seconded by Cottrell, that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from the September 17th, 2020 regular meeting. Is there any objection to suspending the rules? Hearing no objection, is there any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. That will now take us to pre-approved reports and presentations. We have the Mayor Ross DeLue Perry Pride Award and the Put Your Best Face Forward Award. The floor is yours, Mindy.
Is Fritz and Laura Middleton here? Come on up. I'd like to present the Perry Pride Award for October to you for having a beautiful home that's very well maintained and just a pleasure to look at. Thank you for doing that, because it means a lot to our community. And we also have a certificate from Darling Hardware for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And this plaque is at City Hall, and your names are on it. And thank you.
What was the address?
347 Oakwood Lane.
Good. Take a picture with you guys?
And our masks.
You just gotta smile for me, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking such a care of your home. Thank you.
Would you like to share with us, Mindy, the business that won the Put Their Best Face Forward
I
Award?
forgot the business. My choice for the business, for the best face forward, is Darling's Hardware. I thought they did a wonderful job with the new brick, and they always keep their store nice and tidy, and give our town a good name.
Thank you very much. Is that all for now, Mindy? I'll take that as a yes. I don't believe we have any other pre-approved reports or presentations tonight. Is that fair, Devin? Okay, so we will move to public comment. It is this part of our meeting, and later, under any other business may come before council, that we open the floor up for the members of the public to address the city council on any matter they may wish to talk to us about. We do have a 3-minute time limit on each section of public comment. We do have a fellow with us tonight who's on our agenda for a rezoning request, who has to make a specific request tonight. So if council members can tune into their Zoom, we'll hear from the gentleman. Devin, can you unmute him?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My name is David Spitzley. I'm with Oak Arbor Farms, and we've I'm attending this meeting just in case this issue is going to be addressed tonight, and whether there was any questions that I could answer for anybody.
Mr. Spitzley, as I understood, you were making a request that consideration this be delayed for one meeting?
Yes, I'm requesting that it be delayed that the decision be delayed until the next meeting, because I need to meet with John Sauter to review some utility needs that I have out on the facility. And he's been on vacation until this week. And so I've scheduled a meeting with him next Tuesday. He's actually going to come out and we can walk through, and I can show him what I need in terms of irrigation, and he can give me some direction on whether it's possible or whether it's not possible. I need to know the answer of that to move forward with the facility or with the production part of what I'm doing out there. And so meeting with him is really important. And I would hate for you to I would hate for you to change the zoning if it turns out that I can't, if it turns out that I can't move forward with the farm.
So just so you know, Mr. Spitzley, if this gets pushed to the next meeting in October, you're welcome to be part of the meeting, either here live or on Twitter, so that council might, when they consider the rezoning, ask you questions. But
Okay.
I'm gonna put this to council. Typically, I know we don't engage during public comment, but related to Mr. Spitzley's request to delay this, do council members have any questions for him about the delay? No.
No.
Okay, and if you do grant the request, then we'll absolutely invite him back to the next meeting, and he'll be able to answer questions about the rezoning at that time. Mr. Spitzley, thank you very much.
Okay, and is it okay to come to the meeting? I wasn't sure whether I needed to do this virtually through Zoom or whether I would prefer to attend in person if it's possible.
If you wish, you certainly can. We have members of the public attending live. We're holding the meetings on the third floor of Perry City Hall. There is plenty of room to social distance, and people are all wearing masks. And you're welcome to be here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Spitzley.
Thank you.
Are there any other members of the public on Zoom with us who would like to address the council at this time? Please raise your hand. Any hands raised, Devin?
No.
All right. Would any members of the public here with us live tonight like to address council? If so, now would be the time. Please step forward. Seeing no public comment, we will move to communications. Devin, do you have any communications for council tonight?
Yes, I do. We had a gentleman come into City Hall, and I advised him to send me an email to put it in front of council as a discussion, and then I would assume that it would be considered as an agenda item. It's from Donald Murata. Hello, my name is Donald Murata from Murata Investments LLC. We are the owners of 2 duplexes in Perry off of Green Street. While I was in your office earlier today, 9/3/2020, paying property taxes, I asked about acquiring the portion of unimproved North Street that borders our north property line for 204 and 206 North Street. The purpose of my inquiry is twofold. First, that we would currently provide all maintenance on the property. The second reason is that piece added to our current property, we would like to build a 3rd duplex at the site, increasing the tax base on a piece of property that currently has no added value to the city. Please advise, I can be reached at any time. I'll keep his number discreet. Thank you for your time and consideration. Don Mariotto. Being that was yesterday, I just wanted to bring that to council's attention. And if you'll notice, I've given you a copy and I've added on that under Perry Charter. It gives a description on the process for vacating a street possibly. So I will work on this. I guess should I put it in front of council to consider even vacating it at all? Because it will take attorneys because of the description fees and all that kind of stuff. I guess,
Let's give them until the end of the meeting to think about it, and then council can request it under items for next agenda.
I received a letter September 18th, Mayor James Huglet, City Clerk and Perry Council. This is from Thomas Bridges. Dear Mayor Huglet, Clerk, members of City Council, I hereby resign my position as Assistant City Attorney of City of Perry effective December 31st, 2020. When Mayor Hammond takes office, I will have served under 10 mayors, and I have enjoyed my many years serving the city. I plan to continue the private practice of law and will be available for consultation if needed. City Attorney Justin English is very capable of handling legal matters for the city. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Sincerely, Thomas S. Bridges.
Good to hear.
And that's all I have for communications right now.
Very good, thank you. So that will move us to mayor and department head reports. My goodness, it is the first meeting. Devin, do you have a report for council tonight?
I do.
Well, as long as we answer vocal cords now.
I know.
And you go first.
So this, the city has been working on a couple of the CARES Act reimbursements or grants that were available. The two of them are pending. There are some stipulations, the state has them on whether we'll receive them. One of them, we have an award status. It's for the First Responder Hazard Pay Premium Program. And what that offered for our police officers, a maximum of $1,000 to each police officer for the COVID emergency relief. It was a bonus to be able to give to them. The city was nominated the $6,000, and I've checked with the treasurer and we have received the funds. The next item is Governor Gretchen Whitmer's latest order, and it's in regards to our Safe Start and the Safeguards to Protect. She has currently added that you can have events indoors, 20 people every 1,000 square feet, with the stipulation that they're required to be masked. So I've talked to John. We are just under 2,000 square feet, so we apply with the 20 persons. I talked to the mayor. In my opinion, for the rental, because we don't man the events, so we won't be able to supervise what's going on or knowing what's going on, whether they maintain the amount of people or the masking. I feel that we should wait for her to open it up a little bit more to the 50 to the 100 level, and that's what we mainly rent, amount of people, and then the square footage, and it would be fine. The mayor's advised that I put this out there to see if you would agree, or if you would like to make a motion to say, go ahead and start opening this as a rental facility again. So that's my report. If you'd like to ask me questions or any other business, that's up to you on that.
Questions for the clerk? Thank you, Devin.
And then there's two popular phone calls. The number one phone call, so I just want to explain again, it's been through council. The number one conversation is what is YW on the new utility October billing, which is the yard waste, $4. It's applied to every resident. And this will help pay the cost of equipment that is having problems and could fail to get that fund up. So we are directing calls and explaining, and the majority of the calls are positive. The second favorite call that is coming in this week is, where do I go to vote early? And I want to explain to the public again that Michigan is not a state that votes early. You do have the opportunity to stay home and vote by asking for an absentee. You do have the opportunity to come to our office, ask for that absentee ballot. You will have a spot that has been sanitized in a private area to vote that ballot, put it in the envelope, seal it and sign it, and give it to one of my staff before you leave. But Michigan is not a vote early state, and we will do everything in our power to give you the opportunity. We have everything going. Ballots are turning around in City of Perry in 24 to 48 hours. Our post office has supported us, and that has been running smooth. If you have not received your ballot and you requested it with a dual application from March or August by now, please contact City Hall, 517-625-6155, and we will find out if it was application stuck together or if there's something in between. We will get it fixed, but please contact us. And I think that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Deb. DPW Superintendent John Souter, do you have a report for council tonight?
Yes, just real brief.
Thank you.
We've started winterizing the fire hydrants. 2 weeks ago, we had a water main break on the corner of Rolfe Street and Lamb. There was no pressure loss or anything. It was fixed. And, the relining of the gravity sewer main hopefully starts sometime in October. There was some scheduling we're trying to work out, and everybody's just busy trying to get everything done before winter. Just a reminder, the yard waste and brush stuff, October and November, we're picking up leaves. There's no set days for brush. I've left it open, so it gives us the flexibility to get everything done. We go through town, start back over, and keep going. What Mr. I believe Spitzley, that was wanting to rezone the end of Washington Street, he had posed a question, and I have been in contact with him. I'm going to meet with him and walk the property, but I think next Tuesday I got that scheduled. I asked Mr. English about a well and septic being installed on or put on that property. His legal opinion is a site plan would need to be done. I'm just briefing this so that council knows, and so that the distances in the ordinances will reflect that. And however, it has to go through the county health department for the sewer and all that. So there's going to be more things that, if it is approved on the city's end, that it's bigger than just me approving it or saying yes. So there won't be any approval, in my opinion, until a site plan is done on what he actually wants to do. So I think that's pretty much all I have.
Any questions for the superintendent?
I have one, John. Did we have a hydrant fail on that fire on Orchard Street?
I haven't heard anything.
Someone was telling me down there that one of the hydrants would not produce water. I told him that's hard to believe, but I don't know.
I'm sure Guy Hubbard would have
Gotten a hold of it.
contacted me straight away. None of my guys had reported. I got a call from Central Dispatch to go down and shut the water service off to the house, but this was news to me.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know. I would assume that we.
When we looked, we couldn't even tell that they had used any water if they did. The wells didn't go into emergency mode or anything, so they didn't, the last fire that we had, they pumped 40,000 gallons of water. This one, the guy was at the plant that morning doing our checks, and I called him and asked him, and he said everything was running normal. So I would assume the full tanker took care of what was there. Maybe, you know,
Okay,
5 or 10,000 gallons, it's not gonna kick on extra pumps.
okay, I
But
was just curious.
do I need to get a hold of the fire chief?
Well,
I would
don't
assume
know.
that someone would tell me.
Where'd you
Well,
hear
we
this
thought
from?
so, that's
All
why I
those
asked.
hydrants up on that end, I know work.
Yeah, well, I figured you'd know by now if it failed, like,
Yep.
you know, I've been out there.
That is complete news to me.
Okay, I got one other, well, that's been a crowd of people. I got one other question. They're gonna have their own well and septic in this, down North Washington?
It's, my understanding, it's irrigation. Our ordinances do not specifically call out any irrigation type wells currently, so, but since I think it becomes residential, agriculture and residential, rezoning it, they could build a house in there or a facility that would use water, because the ordinances do specifically say, so they wouldn't be able to use that for drinking water.
Well,
Would be
I'm
my
curious because
understanding.
They're putting up a pole barn too and other things, and I'm sure they're gonna have a bathroom in there, and they're gonna need septic and stuff, and I was just curious. So they're allowed to have their own system down there?
No, we're not, we haven't approved anything.
John's working on that. He doesn't have the answers
The
yet.
city attorney advised me to not give any verbal, to not approve anything until a site plan is in the hands of the planning commission, and it'll go through the whole site plan review process.
Okay.
And then there will be legal opinions and distances that spell out in the ordinance. Now, do we need to update our water and sewer ordinances? Probably. But, you know, this is a 20-acre parcel, so you can get quite a ways away from a water main. And I have no idea in that 20 acres what all is gonna be going on, growing the mushrooms, and there was something else, maybe berries
You'll know
or
that
something.
Tuesday probably. I was just curious when I was reading it earlier, because I thought, wow, I didn't know what the system like that would be. Thank you.
Any other questions for John? Thank you, John. Police Chief Kyle Box, do you have a report for council tonight?
I do not have a report, but I am available for any questions.
Does council have any questions for the chief?
I haven't seen a police report in quite a while. Do we still get them?
No, you don't.
We
Unless you
don't?
ask for them.
Will I ask you or
No, you've been instructed to ask the mayor.
Mr. Mayor? I'd like to have one if I could.
Very good. I'll work on it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Other questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Thank you. City Treasurer Joanne Velting, do you have a report for council tonight?
No, I have no report for tonight.
Does council have any questions for the treasurer? Thank you, Joanne. I don't have any additional reports for council tonight, other than things that are under the agenda. But if council has any questions for me, I'm happy to take them. If there are no questions, we'll move to committee reports. Do members of council have any committee reports that they'd like to deliver? Mindy and I have been working on our work group project, and we've begun the process of looking at other alternatives for post-retirement benefits. We're looking at a couple of different things. We are looking at a new health care savings plan. It's called an HRA, a health retirement account. And we have reviewed that with the company that would provide that service. The difficulty with this HRA is that once you create a class of employees everybody's in, whether they want in or not. And there will be an employee and an employer contribution portion. You would have to set what the employee and the employer contribution are. We are able to divide employees up into some classes. One class we would be allowed to have is any new employee coming in that will no longer receive post-retirement health care benefits. We could set them up as a class and provide the HRA plan for them. It's our recommendation as a work group that council pursue setting that up for all new employees. It creates an alternative way for them to begin to save money up towards their post-retirement health care costs, but allows a much more fixed cost for the city, and one that you would pay as you go rather than creating a future liability. We think that providing it to employees who currently serve the city may have some merit, but we have not had an opportunity to survey the current employees. Since you're creating a class and it's everybody's in or everybody out, you could have a situation where if you create the class and provide it to the current employees, you may have half the people unhappy which way you go. We think this should be explored, and we think that this should be a decision that should be deferred for when the new administration and the new council come into place. I won't be here to deal with unhappy employees if I make them unhappy, so I'd like to see some work done on that going forward, and I'd like to see the new council members and the new mayor involved in talking to the employees in determining if you should provide the HRA plan for them and what that should look like. One of the other things that we've considered is the company, and Devin has the name of the company, we can provide you for information. They can hold the trust funds for the post-retirement benefits that we're going to pay in the future. The $130,000 we already have saved for that purpose. You can lock it away with this company. ICM ARC is what they're called. But we'll provide you the information. It's our recommendation that you hire them to be the trust company to administer this plan and lock that money away for post-retirement benefits. There is one final piece that we're considering. We've had some requests for a change in who holds our retirement plan. We're currently with VALIC, and John Sauter has done some work and some research with this ICM ARC company and believes that they would do a better job of administering our retirement plan for city employees, and he's recommended them to us. So there is a process in changing retirement plans. That process is for the pension committee. We have a standing pension committee to look at this and make recommendations to the city council so that you can consider if you want to change pension plans. Devin did a little work pulling this up, exactly who's involved, and I find that the committee is going to need some added membership. You'll remember we just recently reappointed local business owner Vic Darling, so he will be part of that committee. The chairperson of the Finance and Ordinance Committee chairs the Pension Committee. That's you, Genevieve. The mayor serves on the committee as well. The rule also provides that the chair of the Personnel Committee serves on that committee. We don't have a Personnel Committee anymore, and Greg Workworth's not with us, but it's clearly intended to be a council member. So is there a council member willing to volunteer to serve on the Pension Committee in addition to Genevieve?
I will.
So I would ask council, when I get to appointments, I'm going to ask council to appoint Mindy. There is also an employee representative, and the last name on it was Judy Gunther. But since Judy's not with us, and since John's been spearheading this, I will propose under mayor's appointments that we appoint John Sauter as the employee representative to the pension committee. And then we're also recommending that you refer the possible change in retirement plans to the pension committee so they can begin their work and make some recommendations. I don't know if we'll be able to get this done before the end of the term, so I will work to keep Sue Hammond, who is the only one on the ballot for mayor, in the loop as we get closer to it, and we'll pass this off cleanly to her if we don't get it done before then. So that concludes our committee report. Questions? Good. I'm glad I managed to cover it all. Did anybody else think of a committee report while I was talking? Hearing no other committee reports, we'll move to presentation and approval of the bills. Council's had an opportunity to review the bills, and we seek your permission to pay them.
I move that we approve the bills as presented and that payment be authorized.
Second.
Moved by Wood, seconded by Powell, that we approve the bills as presented and payment be authorized. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. That moves us to old business, discussion of possible amendment to council rules and procedures. Mr. Wood?
I see one of our cohorts that's kind of steering in on this a little bit too, isn't here, so I'd like to keep it just right until he can make it.
Does council agree to leave this as no action taken until the next meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll leave it as no action taken. That'll take us to possible resolution to adopt water and sewer rates. John's been working diligently with Leo on this, but COVID has created a situation where work is hard and they're still pulling those recommendations together, so we don't have them for you yet tonight. They are coming. John and Leo are working diligently on this, and so we're hoping to have them for you by the next meeting. Can I have council's consent to leave this no action taken?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't leave it no action taken. This will take us to possible approval of McQueen House repairs. Mindy has done a good deal of groundwork in the last 2 weeks since our last meeting. So Mindy, would you like to talk to council first about what you've done?
Yes. I gave everyone a rundown of where the money will come from. Thanks to Joanne, who I couldn't have done it without. We came up with the full amount, the $9,800. I want to stress that it wasn't easy because we're not rich. I don't probably have to tell everybody that, but there's a little bit of circumstance that I think enabled us to do it. One of them is the sad passing of George Eaton. And because of his passing, we have his longevity, which was $4,800. I guess I like to think of it as George is still serving us and is still appreciated. And another factor was we didn't get to have fireworks this year because of COVID. They were canceled, so that gave us another $2,000. Those were nice big chunks to get us what we needed. And Joanne will shoot me, but she's decided to take vacation, which gave us another big chunk of money. And I'm pretty sure this was one reason that swayed her to do it. Don't look, don't be mad. It's true, you deserve recognition. The rest of it, we tried to take small amounts from different departments so that no department was getting hammered. So I hope it was acceptable to the different departments that we stole money from. But does anybody have any questions on any money being taken from a department?
So the bottom line is Mindy has found the money in a way that will not increase the budget deficit. In future council meeting, in fact, in the next one, I'll put in front of you a budget amendment to make it official in there, but she's found the money to do the full repair on the McLean House.
So council, if you noticed on the motion that is in front of you, that I left the dollar amount blank, that was due to the conversation that you had with Mr. Roback of considering with the funds that were spoke of at the last meeting, if just the initial corner that was crumbling could at least be fixed. I want to thank Mr. Roback that he has followed through with that. So you have two options in there. Mindy has done the work to find the funds to get the project completed, or you also have another proposal just to do that corner. And then under new business, working with Mindy and Joanne, I had asked for all the allocations, and so if you so choose to go with Mindy's work to get this project done, the funds will be allocated appropriately in motion so that Joanne can legally, has the permission to move the money.
So how would the council like to proceed?
Should we let John and Chief look at where the money's coming from, seeing as how a little bit of it is from your departments?
I spoke with Kyle,
Okay,
and before I sent it to you, I spoke with Kyle,
okay,
and, the 200 that come out of his operating supplies, or was not supplies, community promotion, was due to not having the national night out. So,
That's good.
I can't speak for John, but
I'm okay.
So I'm not hearing any discussion or deliberation. Mindy, do you want to make a motion?
I have a question first.
Certainly.
On the proposal that we're looking at, I think, John, you wrote need insurance / bond. Is that you?
I put that in your motion, Mindy,
Okay,
so that will be requested prior
Okay.
to the work being done.
okay,
I took his advice and put that in there.
okay. And I would like to make a motion, but I can't find it.
I will give you a minute, it's a lot of paper.
No.
You get up here and you start shuffling through and looking for one thing and other thing to get
And I
buried.
did, and I
You
made
knew where
a
it was, but
mess.
you gotta find it.
So nobody's organized like that.
You guys are used to me by now, though, right?
Yeah. It's okay. You're good.
All right, where is it? There we go. I move that we approve the contract from Spartan Masonry LLC for repairs to the McQueen House restoration of foundation for an amount not to exceed $9,800, with the stipulation that the DPW superintendent shall supervise the work to be undertaken and approve any proof of liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance prior to commencing work on the project.
Second.
Moved by Galbany, seconded by Powell, that we approve the contract with Spartan Masonry LLC for repairs to the McQueen House restoration of foundation for an amount not to exceed $9,800, with the stipulation that the DPW superintendent shall supervise the work to be undertaken and approve any deviations from the contract, and that the contractors furnish adequate proof of liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance prior to commencing work on the project. Is there discussion? I have a comment. Mindy, thank you for doing the hard work of finding the money. I really appreciate it. You took the time and the effort to do that. Joanne, thank you for your
she had her
assistance to
budget all
her.
marked up before she ever came into City Hall.
Thank you for your assistance
She's
to
been
her.
looking at it.
But that was the hardest part of this job, and you guys did it, and I want to give you my praise for it. You deserve praise. You did hard work.
Nice job.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jillian.
Is there other discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. That will move us to discussion, possible approval of city Christmas party or Christmas fantasy. We have a little time on this. I asked that council make some decisions on if we want to go forward with these events. Would you guys like to discuss it tonight, or do you want to take another couple weeks to think about it before we come back? Or do you want Adam and Craig here before we discuss it?
I think having Adam and Craig here, particularly for the Christmas fantasy event, because it's a pretty large event. And also, there already has been some movement on the governor's orders on crowd size, and things are moving at a pretty quick rate. So it may be in our, by then the executive order may be in our favor to approve that.
So is there a consensus to leave this as no action taken until next meeting?
Yes.
Hearing no objections, we'll leave it as no action taken. That will move us to new business. First is possible approval to allocate funds for the McQueen House repairs. So I was a little behind Devin. This is the budget amendments that I talked about. So having made the decision to spend the money, I would request that council make these amendments. Open the floor up for discussion, questions, motions. Whoever wants to do this has to read it in full.
Where it says new business.
Yes.
Possible approval to allocate funds for McQueen House repairs. I move that we allocate from the following funds and amounts. $2,000 from 101-101.000-880.000 community promotion. $4,800 from 101-202.000-723.000 longevity. $200 from 101-202.000-757.000 operating supply general. $100 from 101-202.000-860.000 mileage general. $500 from 101-209.000-900.000 publish and printing assessor. $550 from 101-253.000-702.000 accumulated vacation pay treasurer. $400 from 101-269.000-931.000 building and grounds McQueen. $100 from 101-305.000-880.000 community promotion police. $200 from 101-371.000-757.000 operating supply building inspector. $200 from 101-400-757.000 operating supply planning. $100 from 101-400.000-817.000 consulting fees planning. $50 from 101-410.000-757 operating supply zoning. $200 from 101-441.000-757.000 operating supply DPW. $100 from 3931.000 building and grounds DPW. $200 from 101-690.000-757.000 operating supply park. $100 from 101-738.000-931.000 building and grounds library.
There's more on the next page, Mindy, the next, most important part.
To 101-269.000-970.000 McQueen House capital outlay for a total amount of $9,800.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Galbavy, seconded by Powell. The budget amendments as just read. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. That will move us to a possible adoption of rezoning resolution. As council heard from Mr. Spitzley earlier tonight, he wants to finish his discussions with John on the possibility that he might withdraw his request if the facts work out the wrong way for him. So do I have consent from council to leave this as no action taken until next meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hearing no objection, we will leave that for no action taken until the next meeting. That takes us to possible first reading of ordinance amendment number 350. Is there a report on this?
This has been from the Planning Commission. This is the advisement they asked for council to consider there were several different things that they felt that was outdated, that didn't work for calling their special meetings. They did their research using the Open Meetings Act, the zoning and planning at the state level, plus the current ordinance. It came to council. Council recommended to send it to the city attorney to set it up. Once the city attorney had it set up, then I gave it back to Planning Commission just to make sure interpretation by both the Planning Commission and the city attorney agreed, and they did. And now it is in front of you tonight for a possible first reading. And just to remind everybody, for the first reading of the ordinance, you do have to read the whole thing.
So I'll open the floor up for discussion, questions,
Is
motions.
this Craig Elliott on this committee?
Planning Commission is Craig Elliott and Genevieve Cottrell.
And Larry Lambert, who's also
Larry
here.
Lambert.
Okay.
Instrumental in finding those, yeah.
I was just, I didn't know with everybody, I just thought he wasn't here so we could put it off till next time he shows up.
This is just a first reading though, correct?
This
It's
is
not
just the
possible
first reading. This is the beginning of the process. By doing this, you put it on the next agenda for possible approval. It takes 4 votes tonight to complete, 4 yes votes to complete first reading, and then 4 yes votes at the next meeting before it's enacted.
So we need a motion, yes?
If we wish to proceed, yes.
Let's see, okay, so I have to read the whole thing, Mindy says so. I move that the Planning Commission Ordinance Amendment number 350 regarding updates to Commission's procedures, which reads as follows, be placed on the next agenda for possible adoption. The City of Perry ordains the City of Perry zoning ordinance concerning the Planning Commission, Chapter 1220, shall be and is hereby amended sections 1220.04A through B and sections 1220.06A through B as follows. Section 1220.04 is hereby repealed, and below stated section 1220.04 is substituted in its place instead. 1220.04, chairperson, meetings, rules, records, notice. A, the planning commission shall annually elect a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and a secretary from among the appointed members, and create and fill such other offices as it may determine. The commission shall hold at least one regular meeting each month. A special meeting of the planning commission may be called by the chairperson or by 2 other members upon written request of the secretary. The secretary shall send written notice of a special meeting to the planning commission members not less than 48 hours before the meeting. It shall adopt rules for the transaction of business and shall keep a record of its resolutions, transactions, findings, and determinations, which record shall be public record and open to inspection in the office of the city clerk. B, the planning commission shall give notice of the time and place of regular and special meetings by posting in a prominent and conspicuous place both at City Hall and on the city's official internet website. Notice shall be given at least 48 hours before the meeting. The commission is subject to the Open Meetings Act, Public Act 1972-67, MCL 15.261 to 15.275. All remaining subsections shall remain unchanged. And section 1220.06 is hereby repealed, and below stated section 1220.06 is substituted in its place instead. 1220.07 powers and duties. C, the planning commission shall make and approve a master plan as a guide for the development within the city. At least every 5 years after the adoption of the master plan, the planning commission shall review the master plan and determine whether to commence the procedure to amend the master plan or to adopt a new master plan. The review and its findings shall be recorded in the minutes of the relevant meetings or meetings of the planning commission. D, the planning commission shall make an annual written report to the mayor and city council concerning its operations and the status of planning activities. All other provisions of said ordinance not inconsistent with the above amendments shall remain in full force and effect. These ordinance amendments shall take effect 30 days from the date of publication.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Support.
Oh, thank God. Not just after all I know,
It was a little bit.
Moved by Cottrell, seconded by Wood. First reading for the ordinance is just amended. Genevieve, could you do something for us? Could you just summarize what the planning commission is seeking to accomplish
Yes.
with this ordinance amendment?
Yeah, so we had the time before you could call a special meeting was, I don't know, it was something outlandish.
15 days.
15 days. Yeah, it was 2 weeks. So we had to call a special meeting, you had to give a 2-week notice, which was a really long time. So that was shortened to at least 48 hours. So that was consistent with the Open Meetings Act. So that was part of it. Also, in the way that the ordinance had been written, that the Planning Commission was supposed to be actively reviewing the master plan and providing a report on the master plan each year. But since we only get census data, we don't get census data every year, that in order to do that, that it made more sense that we did that on a 5-year basis instead of on a rolling basis, which was getting very difficult. So it's a way to use the planning commissions more effectively, and then when we do need special meetings to approve things that come up, we have the power to do that in a shorter amount of time so that we don't keep people waiting for rezoning or site plan review, having to wait 2 weeks. Did I catch all that, Larry?
Thank you. Very good plain language explanation. I thought that might help. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. That will move us to mayor's appointments. So, let's see. The appointments I have tonight are the 2 I mentioned. So I appoint Mindy Galbavy to the pension committee as council's representative in place of the personnel committee chair. And as the employees representative, I appoint John Souter to the pension committee. And I seek your advice and consent on those appointments.
So moved.
Motion by Wood to approve the mayor's appointments. Is there a second?
There's second.
Motion by Wood, second by Cottrell to approve the mayor's appointments. Is there discussion? All in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. So that will move us down to any other business may come before council. So this is our second opportunity for public comment. Would any people who've joined us from Zoom, members of the public, like to address the council at this time, please raise your hand. Any hands raised?
No.
Would any members of the public here with us live tonight like to address council? Mr. Roback.
Thank you, sir. I'd just like to take a moment of your time and thank you all for your support of the McQueen House. The Perry Historical Society appreciates the tremendous amount of effort and sacrifice that everyone put into getting this little project done. Just a quick update in case anyone wanted something ahead of this, or a little bit of our schedule. The complete electrical service, including the tie-in from Consumers Energy, is complete. The power is back on the home. I have sent an email out to Perry Plumbing to schedule a date for the plumbing work to commence inside the home. Mr. Saunders put a nice new water line into the home and got that done for us. I spoke with Mr. Godfrey yesterday, and the gutters and downspouts for the one-story section that were ordered are in. The Bilco door for the cellar is on its way. He will be completing that work now because the painters are almost or nearly complete. We replaced the 3 broken windows in the home with the antique glass. And then you all have a copy of the information I gave to Devin Miller in regards to how we will proceed with this foundation work. We're going to be doing a bunch of moving in the basement, getting it ready for them to start work down there on the foundation. As soon as the plumbers are out, we'll get Spartan in there and get started. And that will probably close out our year. And if anybody has a question for us, I'd be happy to answer it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Would anyone else from the public like to address council at this time? Seeing no other public comment, we do have some additional items of business to come before council. You'll find them on your motion sheet. I would ask that council formally refer the possible change in retirement plans to the pension committee. We need formal action on that, and there is a recommended motion available.
What are we making the motion for? I'm sorry, Mayor.
To refer to the pension committee, the request to change pension plans, council has to actually send that to the pension committee that we just updated.
Okay. What are your motions? You have recommendations. Would you like mine? Okay.
Okay. So I move that we send it to the pension committee?
We have the language that's a little more specific.
Did I not get the right sheet? Okay, someone else is gonna have to make it, I don't have the right sheet.
Did it not get posted on the doors?
I don't know. Oh, I have a different one, okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. Well, what am I reading here?
It's the first one.
The first one,
under any other
okay,
business.
thank you. Okay, yep. That makes it better. Let's see.
You have another copy there.
I gave her mine, but
That way I don't
I
have to.
can make it go.
Yep. Yeah, did they want to say? This is to amend the pension committee?
No, it's the one above that.
Oh, okay. I move that the city consider switching employee retirement plan from Valid AIG to ICMARC and send this to the pension committee for further review and follow up with a recommendation to council.
We'll have to switch the piece of paper back
Okay,
and forth. I think
there
we
you
only
go.
have one copy.
No, that's right. I'm looking at the one for check signers. I don't think that's right.
Is there a second to the
Copy
motion?
and paste, because that one came after, that I erased the ones on top, because the other items, no, I'm just apologizing that they were there.
It turned out.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion by Cottrell, seconded by Galvin, that the city consider switching employee retirement plans from VALIC at AIG to ICMARC and send this to the pension committee to further review and follow up with a recommendation to council. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please vote aye.
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 All opposed, please vote no. Motion carries. The next item of recommended business is to deal with the appointments. And we had an ordering problem. The appointments were on the agenda, so we dealt with the appointments first. But the way that the policy reads, the pension committee needs to be corrected so that Mindy and John are the correct people to be on there. And so we have a suggested motion to update the positions on the pension committee to align with what we just did by appointments. Who would like the motion?
Oh, sure, I'm reading it.
It's the next one down.
Great, thank you. I move that we amend the pension committee to be made up of the following personnel: mayor, chairman of the finance and ordinance committee, one additional council member, a business person within the city of Perry, and a city employee.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Moved by Cottrell, seconded by Galvin, that we amend the pension committee to be made up of the following personnel: mayor, chairperson of the finance and ordinance committee, one additional council member, and a business person within the city of Perry, and a city employee. Is there discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. We dealt with the appointments, so we're all set there. City depository reports from the treasurer. Somebody, Joan, you got a report on this?
Yes, we currently have what's called an expense card. That's the city, it's like the city credit card, but it only has a balance of $1,000. They can't spend any more than that. It's kind of like petty cash for use on companies that no longer have a brick and mortar store. They just do business online. And our bank transferred from Chemical to TCF, and they no longer provide this product. So I need to have approved PNC as a depository, and I also need approved, because the bank's not named Chemical Bank, it's called TCF, that I need that approved as a depository also.
Any questions for the treasurer? As long as we're doing reports, why do we need to adjust the check signers at this time?
The check signers,
I had asked Bridges on that, whether we even needed this process, and he advised, due to the new bank added on, that the asking for the check signers to have it, to follow this would be appropriate.
Okay, so the common practice within the city with our old bank was that every check had to be signed by 2 of 3 people. The 3 authorized people by council have always been mayor, treasurer, and clerk, and so you're putting that same rule in place for the TCF bank. So we're looking for council to make some updates. Who would like to see the motions?
I move that we approve the mayor's announced depositories for the city. And can I combine these two, or they have to be separate motions?
They're usually separate of
Okay.
themselves for auditor's sake.
Okay, I move that we approve the mayor's announced depositories for the city.
Or
Moved by Cottrell, seconded by Wood, to approve the mayor's announced depository for the city, TCF Bank, and PNC Bank. Is there discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The new council will do all of this again on December 1, in new term meetings. And do we have a motion on check signers?
That we authorize any 2 of the following: mayor, treasurer, or clerk to be the signers on the city accounts.
Support.
Thank you.
Moved by Cottrell, seconded by Powell. Authorize any 2 of the following: mayor, treasurer, clerk, to be the signers on city accounts. Is there discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. That's everything that I had for any other business. Do members of council have any other business that need to come up for your action tonight? Seeing none, that'll move us to council discussions and observations. Councilwoman Galvin. Councilman Powell.
I don't get out very much on the main road, and I'm wondering. I don't? All right, I'm not allowed to go out much. The LED sign up here, is it still having our meetings? Is there anybody at the school that's,
It should have been an annual, it should be rotating on there. That is something that's automatically should know.
okay, and then,
If you're not seeing it, I can inquire if there's been a technical problem.
okay, no, and that's just it, I haven't seen it, so I'm not up there
I
to
can
see
ask.
it. But, yeah, I just, and then the special meetings, within 48 hours, want to make sure that that's getting out.
Special meetings, I can't promise to get up there with
Okay.
48 hours. I can't promise that due to meeting up with their technology.
Okay, okay.
But we always try to get them.
Right. I just didn't know if it was coming up anymore. And so other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Chris. Councilman Wood.
No, I got nothing.
Mayor Pro Tem Kuchar.
I had a quick question on the correspondence that Devin received from Don Marada. Can someone describe exactly where this is in the city? I'm having trouble picturing where North Street is.
How would you describe that, guys?
That
Main
was
Street is
Main
up behind your
Street.
VFW. If the house went,
VFW
I'm
off
sorry,
Main
yeah.
Street,
Got it.
continue on, and be called North Street. It's called Patriot Way on Main now.
Uh-huh,
If it went all the way through,
got it, okay.
and
I
it
see.
goes all the
Yep,
way
yep.
to Lamb.
Super, I got what you mean. Okay, yeah, thanks.
But there is a water and sewer halfway through the block currently, from halfway
there's
from Lamb
service to
to
it?
Green.
Uh-huh, okay.
That services those facilities
That
up
has it
there.
there. Okay, yeah,
If they
thanks.
build something on there, John, we have services under the ground, right? What, that gonna be affected in any way?
I talked to Rob and I talked to Steve, the building inspector and the assessor. We were there, everyone was here. It just happened to be that the guy come in. You know, there's probably ways to do it legally so that if at some point in time we need to connect from Main Street up through there, you know, right now we have the ability to do that. If we get rid of it without a legal easement, then that would be the consideration, I believe.
Don't we usually keep the legal easement there in case we have to run something? I thought we did
Yeah,
that
they're
on some
all-
of these other streets.
I'm sorry.
I thought we did that on some of these other streets that we give to the people. We kept the right of way through there for the utilities. But we won't be able to do that
I
there.
remember some of it, but I can't answer what all it says
Okay, I was
at this
just,
point.
you know, I was just curious, because if they build on it, we're not gonna be able to get through there, you know?
Right.
Okay. One other thing. Do I call in a light for consumers, or do you?
Street
You
light?
can.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways. You can get on the website and do it. I typically don't handle
Okay.
that.
Okay, I got one that's playing games down there.
Anything else, Genevieve?
Nope, that's all I had. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So that was, council discussion, well, you guys, I've talked enough. We can all agree on that, so we'll move to agenda items for the next meeting. We have discussion, possible amendment of council rules and procedures, possible resolution to adopt water rates and sewer repairs, discussion and possible approval of city Christmas party and Christmas fantasy. With that, possible final approval of ordinance amendment number 350. Are there any other items for the next agenda?
Did you mention the rezoning resolution?
I didn't. I said the council would decide if they put it on or not. There's a request from council if they want this on their next agenda.
And then acceptance of resignation possibly?
Yes, for Tom Bridges, so possible acceptance of his resignation. Oh, then the rezoning, yes, I'm sorry, the rezoning belongs on there. I'm sorry, I meant the requested sale of property. Does council want to put this requested sale of property on its next agenda?
Yeah, I would like to put it on there.
Okay, so we'll put discussion of possible sale of city property on the next agenda,
Are you talking about vacating?
or vacating, yeah, the Morat request.
Okay, just so I understood you weren't, all right.
Well, we're vacating it, not selling it, so there's no money to be obtained from it. It's just,
I understand. I just want to make sure we're talking the same thing.
gotcha. No, I apparently got a little confused at the end of the meeting. Are there any other items for the next agenda? Anything comes to your attention between now and the next meeting in 2 weeks, please bring it to the attention of the city clerk, and we work to have all items that need council attention on the agenda for you at that next meeting. With that, the time is now 8:13. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.